everything cool. I hope my sound quality did saturate. Everybody listen to me. We'll be about to start. Everybody listen. Everybody listen. Testing 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The sound is okay. Everyone says the sound is okay. All right, perfect. Thank you all, fellow Ambazonians. Thank you all, fellow Biafrans. Make them adjust the sound a little bit. I see a little bit of saturation here. Yes, fellow Ambazonians, fellow Biafrans, I thank you all for watching. I hope my sound quality didn't saturate. Everybody listen to me. Okay. Put your... Okay. All right, okay. All right, thanks. So, Ambazonians, I want to thank everybody for coming on board. I want to thank all the Biafrans. As my usual start, I go start by calling everybody to join. Sound quality is excellent. Sound quality excellent. Hello, Ambazonians, fellow Biafrans. Okay, perfect. Yes, Ambazonians, I want to thank everybody for coming on board. I want to thank all my brothers, all my sisters. I want to thank Una in the revolution. This show today be heavily pregnant. We are broadcasting live on the Biafra TV. We are also broadcasting live on the Ambazonia TV. So I want to thank everyone who don't participate in both revolutions, in the media sphere, in the media sector, for tell them, say, the ACN TV, the broadcast we live. So if you watch we on the Bui TV, it be okay. A lot of TVs that the broadcast we, but our primary channel now the ACN TV. We're now the Ambazonia National TV. I want to also thank the Biafrans with the watch with we on the Biafran TV. And I want to tell when I say I've been a rebel, the biggest rebel inside the Ambazonia Biafra revolution. I want to tell everybody, say the struggle today be very pregnant. I will talk a little bit for Pidgin English as I introduce, but majority of my time will be in the English language. Fellow Ambazonians, thank you for coming on board. Thank everyone. I thank you, my brothers and sisters across the Ambazonia territory over there in Biafra. You are welcome. I understand you are taking the footprints of the Ambazonians, and I will give you a couple of strategies as to how you could run your own revolution. We are working as brothers and sisters. We have conquered a common enemy known as La République du Cameroun and Nigeria, and we have achieved great strides in a very short period of time. So let me take this moment to thank those who are watching. I see them on the comments section. Permit me to open my screen so I could see them here. Lyonga Martin Monono, always present. Fred Fon, thank you very much. I see you. Grandma Sally from Maryland, thank you very much. I see a couple of people watching. Silva Berto, thank you very much. Silva Berto, thank you very much. Flash Chelsea, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Everyone who is watching. Bang Eric, thank you very much. Bang Eric. And a couple of people, John Leke, thank you very much. I see you watching. We are about to start the greatest of all time rebel shows in a rebel revolution at a rebel age and time. When I say rebel, it's not a bad word. Rebel in political movements means someone who is not happy with the current status quo, and rather than being an opposition leader, he or she chooses to break up and form his own country, to govern himself, to engage in the rule of law, to engage in democracy, the principles of self-determination, the principles of forming your own state, your own nation state. So we are rebels. Of course, Nigeria imposed upon us the so-called national IDs and passport, Nigerian passport, but we are seeking to having Biafrans passports. Of course, Cameroon imposed upon us the Cameroon passports, Cameroon national IDs, but we are seeking to have our own Ambazonian national IDs, Ambazonia passports. So we are breaking up from those kakistocracies. So Ambazonians, permit me to greet a couple of people as we are starting this edition today. All my fellow Biafrans, thank you very much. I want to encourage you to share this particular broadcast. In the next 2-3 minutes, we shall start. I know I initially announced that I'll be coming on about an hour ago, but I had a pressing concern. Some of the leaders of the Biafran revolution reached out to me for some breaking news, And also we had a joint press briefing behind the scenes to enlighten the state of the Ambazonia and Biafra revolution vis-a-vis the international relations engaged by these two international partners and actors. Ambazonians, I will go straight to the point, but I want to tell you here that the revolution is our life and our blood. Some of us have sacrificed even our own families to head and to lead and to die in this revolution. Some of us have sacrificed even our own families to advocate for democracy back home from where we came from. The fact that we live in the United States does not make us more Americans than the Americans. Don't and never forget where you come from. Allow those children to keep ranting on Facebook, but focus on the Ambazonia revolution. It has come to stay. You know what I'm talking about? It has come to stay. And for that reason, even the American government do recognize our patriotic efforts and have awarded us several wins upon wins. Me in particular, and I want to thank the American government for recognizing my good activism that is being deciphered by the enemy of La République du Cameroon as terrorist activism. I don't care whether with the Ambazonians. I would go further to explaining why the Biafrans have to sit up, but I would like to start by congratulating Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for the great job he has done for the Biafrans and for enlightening Africa that we can stand up against dictators. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu happens to be one of the greatest and most admired young leaders in Africa's contemporary age and time. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu happens to be one of those fearless Biafrans who've stood up against a sleeping so-called president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, who rules and who governs his country by Skype from London and from hospital bed. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu happens to be one of those who have been put on his head. In fact, the Nigerian government back in 2014, 2015, jailed this particular great, wonderful leader. He spent more than a year in prison for nothing. But he came out even more strong and viral. Ambazonians, we shall take this revolution to the next level. The state at which the Nigerian revolution is today, that is where the Ambazonian revolution was in 2017. Let me correct this. The state at which the Biafran revolution is today, that is where the Ambazonian revolution was in 2017. In 2017, we the Ambazonians were marching with peace plans. We were still afraid to call guns guns. We were still afraid to advocate for the purchase of guns and bullets to shoot and kill the La République du Cameroon military terrorists. For this reason, I would like to address the Biafrans because I have focused very much on the Ambazonian revolution. I happen to be one of the first people in Ambazonia to roll out the word terrorist for our enemies. I was the one who initiated two key things in Ambazonia revolution. First, describe your enemies as a terrorist group. Biafrans, you must describe Nigerian governments as a terrorist group. Before you start to fight your enemy, you must psychologically defeat them and gain international sympathy. The first action would be for you to label your enemy with the name they don't want to hear. Label all Nigerian government officials, label all Nigerian sympathizers as terrorists because they are orchestrating crimes in the Biafra land. The Fulani regime, the Northerners, are sending the cattle rearers with machine guns, Kalashnikovs, AK-47s to destroy your livelihoods. Those are terrorists. The second thing you have to do is that you need to start arresting those terrorists. Because right now when you pick them up, they will call you kidnappers. You are not kidnappers. You have your land called Biafra. You must start by arresting those enemies. Start with the governors of Nigeria. Those so-called governors imposed by Nigeria on Biafrans must be immediately arrested. Don't joke about it. Number 3, prisons. You must break all the prisons in Biafra. Break those prisons and release your enemies. Release even your own fellow Biafrans. A prison break should not be selective. And claim ownership, claim credits for breaking prisons. I will tell you why. Number 1, those people who are in prison today, I don't know where Kiriki prison is found. Those people who are in your Biafran prisons are imposed by Nigeria in Biafra, built by Nigerian government in Biafra, built by neighboring Nigerian governments in Biafra. Those people who have been incarcerated, who have been jailed, who have been imprisoned, there, they don't deserve to be imprisoned because 1, Nigeria itself, neighboring Nigeria, you have to call them neighboring Nigeria. You are not part of Nigerians. You are Biafrans. You have to recognize yourself and your identity. Neighboring Nigeria is not a country. It's not a democracy. It is a kakistocracy. It is an autocracy. It is a mobocracy. It is a plutocracy. It doesn't practice the rule of law. They have no judiciary system. It has a ministry of injustice. And that ministry of injustice wrongly jails the ordinary Biafran, keeps him or her in their so-called prison for the next 30 years, and they don't care. Those Biafrans who are in your prisons are your potential patriotic volunteers. You need to break all the prisons. You have the population. There are 70 million of you Biafrans. 70 million, from 1 to 70. We Ambazonians, we are less than 8 million. And our active fighting force is less than 2,000 people. You have millions of active fighting forces. Millions, I mean millions. Break those Nigerian prisons built in Biafra. Don't extend to neighboring Nigeria. Stay within Biafra and capture Biafra in Biafra. Biafra has been captured by Nigerians in Biafra. You need to capture Biafra in Biafra. I saw a couple of tweets, a couple of people rolling out tweets on the Nigerian broadcasting channel. Especially, I was disappointed with Nnamdi Kanu, who did not claim ownership for the prison break that I read from the CNN and others. Nnamdi Kanu kind of encouraged it, but never claimed credit. I want to let Nnamdi Kanu know that although we are the strongest supporters of his, stronger than even the Biafrans, we will continue to give him advice, whether in public or out of the public. Number 1, Dr. Ayabacho Lucas, whom you see on the side of your screen, was the first leader in Ambazonia to claim credits for killing gendarmes. Gendarmes are equivalent to what you call the SAS. Gendarmes are equivalent to what you call the Nigerian army. Ayabacho Lucas was the first to claim credit for killing 2 gendarmes in 2017. At that time, when you heard about the killing of a gendarme, of a SAS member, of a secret service, Nigerian secret service member, at that time when you heard about it, you'll be panicking because you know what is going to come after you. But we did not panic. Ayabacho said, I killed the gendarme. I ordered for those 2 gendarmes to be slaughtered. And those were terrorists. It was captured by the Reuters news agency. It was also published on CNN. It was published on a couple of news outlets. I want to tell you that first, you are in a revolution where you have to give your life up for your people. Second, Nigerian government claims credit for capturing someone like Nnamdi Kanu, capturing fellow Biafrans who are patriotic volunteers for the Biafran state. They claim credit, they claim ownership that they have captured them. Why don't you claim ownership for capturing the local government officials? Why don't you capture the governors? Start with those governors. Pick all of them in Nigeria. Pick them up. They will learn a lesson. Don't be afraid. I have told you in this revolution, we give you those strategies. Don't be afraid. I speak from the Western world because this is a political movement. If it happens in Egypt, it happens in Tunisia, it happens even in Libya, where the Western world was supporting the taking down of those Gaddafi that they describe as a terrorist? Why not you sitting from the Western world taking down Muhammadu Buhari? Listen, Ambazonians and Biafrans. First, don't be afraid. You have to systematically target the governors. Systematically. Take out all the governors in Biafra. That will send a lesson in their heads. Number two, take out the local government officials. Those LGAs have been imposed. Those are tentacles of Buhari in Biafra. And when they continue to exist, you will not in any way operate as a free Biafran citizen. Number three, target all the police posts, the military posts. Take them out and burn them down. Burn those military posts. Let me tell you this. In Ambazonia today, we don't have any military post. We don't have even the police post. All of the policemen who were formerly policemen with La République du Cameroon, currently they are wearing civilian wears. They are afraid to put on their police uniforms and walk on our streets. That is how bad it has become. Even the police stations that continue to exist in Ambazonia today have erected walls, sandbags, because they are afraid of what is going to come after them. That is how we have created fear in the hearts of the enemy. The soldiers, the military Cameroon military terrorists whom we fight right now, they walk in groups because they know there is power in numbers. And yet we are systematically taking them out with IEDs, improvised explosive devices. Look, Biafrans, we have transitioned. At first, in 2017, that is where your revolution is right now. Because you are still afraid to buy guns. You are still afraid to call a spade a spade. In 2017, let me be clear with you. We were still afraid to buy guns. We still thought diplomacy will succeed. We still thought that by protesting in front of the Birmingham palaces, the White Houses, writing letters to the United Nations, diplomacy will thrive and we will have a free Ambazonia. Let me tell you, we've gone through everything humanly and humanely possible. We rallied the largest population of an African population in the United States to demand the White House for our independence. They did not listen. And I can tell you this, whether you carry the 70 million of you and go in front of all the embassies across the world in all the Western democracies, no one will ever listen to you. What they will listen to are guns and explosives. When we had guns and explosives, when we transitioned into guns, we transitioned with the help of our fathers. Let me tell you this. Our fathers used Dane tools, Dane guns, those traditional guns that you shoot in Nigerian movies. That's what our fathers were using. They handed over the guns to us in 2017 to fight, to stave off the enemy, the terrorist regime of neighboring La République du Cameroon. But it was not enough because we were overpowered by the automatic rifles of neighboring La République du Cameroon. When they shoot, we are shooting pam and then loading, shooting pam pam and loading. Listen, we immediately rallied the Ambazonians to raise funds, to buy guns and to buy bullets and to fight this enemy. And we successfully did that. Right now, the ordinary Ambazonian, the ordinary Biafran should be having an AK-47. Do you know what? We are no longer talking about even buying guns in Ambazonia. We are talking about explosives. We are discussing right now at the background on how we can get machine guns. Those ones that when you mount on a hilux, you shoot, pam, 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 pam. It takes your energy. That is what we are looking for. You need explosives. You need guns. You Biafrans, the business people, you need to put your hands in your pocket and do this thing once and for all. Buy the best of all the explosives. Train your engineers. Let me give you a caveat. We are not fighting civilians. We are protecting civilians. We are invoking the responsibility to protect endangered species in Biafra, in Ambazonia, called civilians. We are protecting those civilians whom the international community has turned its blind eye and given its deaf ear to them. So listen, if no one protects you, you will follow Charles Darwin's theory of natural selection, where the stronger one will survive, the weaker one will die away. And if you're not strong, you will die. If you're weak, you will die. You need to be strong. The Nigerian government is currently stronger than the ordinary Biafran because the Nigerian government has weapons, but you have no weapons. Why should your fellow so-called neighboring Nigerian brother or so-called enemy have a gun and you in Biafra, you don't have a gun? What makes them special? What makes the fellow Nigerian special? Give me a reason. What makes the fellow Nigerian who sits in Aso Rock having a gun so special than you in Biafra? You don't have a gun. You don't have an AK-47. Why? What makes the ordinary American citizen have a gun and me, a citizen, not having a criminal record, do not have a gun? You need to buy your own guns. You need to buy your guns. Because if they have, your enemy has a gun, you don't have your gun, you'll be taken out. You'll be taken out of the equation. When those La République du Cameroon terrorists come into our neighborhoods, we shoot at them. I can show you multiple videos. Technicians, please send me the video. Send me that particular video where explosives were being seen in Ambazonia in the recent days. Let me show it to my fellow Biafrans. Send me that particular video where we saw explosives, technicians, so I can put that thing on the side of my screen. Let me make this particularly clear. When we started in this revolution, we were gynecals, as thin as they are. I mean, they should be walking with stones because the wind can blow them away. A Fulani with a stick, putting an AK-47, come and slaughter your entire people. Go back and you sit and you're protesting on Facebook. You must be ashamed of yourself. And the Biafrans that I know are business oriented. They have money. They have money. Why don't you buy guns? Why don't you buy guns? That if Fulanis can have guns, then what more of you? What does a Fulani man have? If you go to Kano and if you go to all of those just states, very poor states, come to Enugu, Anambra, go to Calabar and see development. You want to tell me a Fulani has money better than the ordinary Biafra and the Igbos? That they can buy guns, that someone can sponsor a Fulani, but you cannot be sponsored. That is horrible. It's appalling to hear that. Someone sponsors a Fulani to come and slaughter your people, but you, Biafrans, cannot be sponsored to slaughter the Fulani. You want diplomacy with a Fulani, a cattle rearer, who does not speak English. All he knows is violence. You want diplomacy with somebody who knows violence? You're wasting your time. Your kids will be slaughtered. You have to protect those civilians. And for you to protect civilians, when you're fighting an uneducated enemy, my friend, you need to take the gun from its barrel. You need to hold that gun and shoot. I'm telling you facts. Your so-called neighboring Nigerian president, Muhammadu Buhari, he cannot speak English. All he knows is people London, as sick as he doesn't speak English. He doesn't. He's an illiterate. Muhammadu Buhari is a stark illiterate, living on life support, governing Nigeria by Skype, governing 280 million people by Skype, and you're afraid, and you're still trying to engage in diplomacy with a cattle rearer, someone who has never sat in the four walls of school. How can you engage? A Fulani comes into your area, stands somewhere, slaughters the entire. A Fulani cannot speak English. What do you not understand? Let me just break this thing down. A Fulani cannot speak English. The most uneducated neighboring Nigerians are Fulanis. They don't know how to speak English. As illiterate as they are, all they know is violence and cattle rearing. Cattle rearing and violence and knife stabbing. They come into Biafra, they slaughter your people, they go free, and you are there protesting. Who sponsors the Fulani? The Nigerian government. And you, the ordinary Biafrans, with millions in your pockets, you cannot buy guns to sponsor the Biafrans to kill those Fulanis. This is not a genocide. This is what they call defensive warfare. You are defending your women and children. Because we don't encourage genocide. And we condemn genocide. But we are saying that we have to defend ourselves in the face of injustice. If someone walks in and slaughters your children when you have the power, the might to call for the police, to call for 911, and you calling the police, no one is coming to your aid, what do you do? And they keep slaughtering all of your 13 children, you have to step up your game. Or you yourself, you will be the next victim. Ambazonians and fellow Biafrans, let me make this clear. Freedom is freedom. And freedom does not mean taking someone's liberty. Our people want liberty. The people of Biafra, the people of Ambazonia, they want liberty. And I'll show you why. Because we want liberty, I will show you evidence as to how we want liberty, what La République du Cameroon terrorists are doing in our land to deprive us of our own liberty. Permit me to share with you this particular screenshot, this particular video. It's an explosive video. Permit me to share with you this particular video. Let me share with you this. Maybe my fellow Biafrans don't see this. Let me cast it on my screen here. For those who are watching us on the Biafra TV, thank you very much for watching us. I do salute, and I salute all the Biafrans. It's casting on my screen in a few minutes from now. So I want to share this on my screen. 1 second. All right. Let me see. Airdrop. All right. I want to share this particular video on my screen for everyone to see, because apparently no one has shared this video with the ordinary Biafrans. Okay, I think it's casting soon on the screen. I don't know why it's not taking a long time. All right, accept. All right, it's coming on. It's coming on the screen. So Ambazonians and the Biafrans, I'm pushing out a particular video on the screen for you to watch, for you to see. So it's coming up. Yes, it's coming up. Just give me a second so I show you that on the screen. All right. Yes, okay, perfect. Let this video come up. Let me share this on the screen. Hold on 1 second. All right, perfect.
Today na 24th, number 4 month 2021. Number 47 catalyst for road 2. You're there for a target. Our enemy then this way they claim they come through. So no time to reach our target. relation des victimes.
Yes. This is the Bali buffalo.
Yes, Ambazonians, my fellow Biafrans, I take that particular short break for showing the exact happenings in Ambazonia. You see, those are explosives. Explosives built by the Ambazonians against La République du Cameroon military terrorists. We want the Biafrans to copy that example. Biafrans, it's not only guns and bullets. We need to buy explosives. We now use improvised explosive devices for surgical targets, surgical attacks on the enemies. Never for any reason attack a civilian. Never for any reason touch a woman and a child. Your goal, your modus operandi must be to protect women and children first, and to invoke the responsibility to protect. By protecting women and children, you must clear out all those Nigerian military terrorists, all those Cameroon military terrorists. You must take them out. Take them out with the guns or take them out with explosives. You have the best engineers. I know the Biafrans are the most educated people. You have the best engineers who can build improvised explosive devices that are going to protect your civilians. You saw the Ambazonians, the Ambazonian soldiers, the rebels, detonating, taking out military trucks from a distance, using advanced technologies, surgically taking them out. I will share with you videos that came into the screen. The amount of guns we've successfully acquired. Let me share with you this video. The amount of guns we have successfully acquired as of today. Let me share with you this. Bear with me, please. Photos. Let me share with you this video. The amount of guns we have successfully acquired as of today, taking them from the Cameroon military terrorists. Accept. It's opening. These guns, you would hear it. These guns have been taken away from the La République du Cameroon military terrorists. I'm trying to cast that on my screen. Watch this particular.
Today, 30th of April 2021. Nakako Deswe Marine Force Brigham. I want bring.
Let me pause here and explain. As you see, these are weapons. Weapons taken out. Cameroon military weapons that our soldiers, the Ambazonia soldiers, have taken away from La République du Cameroon. These are weapons, advanced weapons that we have taken away from La République du Cameroon. As you could see, watch on your screen. These are La République du Cameroon armored gears, armored cars, armored whatever they have. Those are the weapons that you are seeing on the side of your screen that we have taken from La République du Cameroon. Ambazonians, listen, and the Biafrans, listen. Don't be afraid. You have the Eastern Security Network, the ESN. ESN must have guns and bullets. ESN must have the real weapons. These are weapons we've taken from the Cameroon military. Today, I mean today, April 30, 2021. These are weapons we've taken away from the Cameroon military. You see the Cameroon military vest? That is their uniform. We have deleted and we have killed the Cameroon military terrorists. Is it a bad thing to say we've killed terrorists? Or should I say we've killed civilians, which we will never? We protect civilians? Is it a bad thing for me to come on air and tell you we've killed La République du Cameroon military terrorists? What are you afraid of? When the American government announces that Osama bin Laden, the terrorist, has been killed, why are you afraid not to announce that we have killed La République du Cameroon military terrorists? Look and watch. Let me play this video. Sorry.
They're about the GP, garde présidentielle, Horace. They bring them.
Lord Biafrans, as you see on the side of your screen, those are the guns we've taken away from La République du Cameroon. We've not only destroyed La République du Cameroon, but we have destroyed their arsenal of weapons. We've taken them away. These are facts happening today. Our soldiers did it. And you see our soldiers, you see our civilians happy. Our civilians are happy that they are protecting our women and children. Biafrans, if you don't seize guns like this from neighboring Nigerians, if you don't kill those Fulani terrorists who come to kill your women and children and seize their weapons, they will forever be armed against your unarmed civilians. You need to step up the game. I know most of you are watching, most of you are listening. This is evidence that we are doing a fantastic job in protecting humanity, in protecting women and children. If you are so blind that you cannot see these weapons, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this particular question. As you see this amount of weapons, the bullets that will be shot from these weapons, who are they shooting at? They are shooting at civilians. Will there be our accountability? No. If you are operating in an autocracy, if you operate in a dictatorship, if you operate in a plutocracy, if you operate in a gangster regime, if you operate in a rogue state, there is no accountability. And for you to enforce accountability, you must seize their guns and bullets and use it against them. That way, you are accountable for the taxes that the Buhari regime stole from you to buy these guns. We are accountable for the taxes that the neighboring La République du Cameroon regime stole from us Ambazonians to buy these weapons. Don't be afraid. Let me make this particularly clear because some of you don't understand the importance of what I'm saying. Biafrans, the best time for you to have independence is now. The best time in your entire career for you to have independence is now. Why? Because you have a supportive brother in Ambazonia. We Ambazonians are ready to give you the shelter when you need backup. We are ready to step up. We are ready to share with you transfer of knowledge, knowledge transfer. We are ready to engage in KT sessions with you so that you have the information that we took to build a political movement now known as the Ambazonia Revolution. Don't be afraid. If there's one thing you have to know is that these enemies that you see are international partners, are best of friends. I will share with you this particular video. Watch for yourself this particular video and you see the relationship between Buhari and neighboring La République du Cameroon. Watch this particular video. Let me make this clear. The video you're watching, the video you are watching right now are Nigerian soldiers marching on the streets of neighboring Cameroon. These are Nigerian soldiers marching on the streets of neighboring Cameroon on their National Day celebration, pledging allegiance, pledging their loyalty to Cameroon, to the Paul Biya regime, stating that the two of them are good friends and they will continue international relations or whatever they call diplomacy, if autocracies do engage in diplomacies, by the way. These are Nigerians, as you see on the side of your screen, Nigerian soldiers. Keep watching. You see, one of the things that we fail to understand, especially in the Ambazonia revolution, is that we are dealing with an enemy known as Nigeria, known as Asurok. We are also dealing with an enemy known as Yaoundé, known as A2D, the Unity Palace. We are dealing with Abuja, the enemy. We are dealing with Yaoundé, the enemy. These two enemies have connived against the people of Ambazonia and the people of Biafra. If, for example, knock on wood, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu steps into neighboring Cameroon, trust me, the immediate reaction will be that he will be picked up and sent to Asurok in Nigeria. The same thing happens for our leaders in Asurok. Our leaders in Nigeria were picked up by Asurok regime, the Fulani regime, the Northerners, and sent to neighboring La République du Cameroon. And for the last 4 years, they are still in prison. Do you trust Buhari? Do you trust Nigerians? Do you trust Cameroonians? Don't. If there's one thing I'll consistently say on earth till I die, only Ambazonians can free Ambazonians. Only Biafrans can free Biafrans. The United Nations will be utterly silent when it comes to your cries. And they have proven it to be so. They are more concerned about where the money comes from than where the lives come from. We've seen it in Ambazonia. They are more concerned about our oil rigs. They are more concerned about our Bakassi Peninsula. They are not concerned about the lives of a 4-month-old child that was shot and her head shattered in a place in Ambazonia known as Moyuka. The international community does not care about those lives because they've seen a lot of lives being lost across the world. So it's none of their business, it's none of their concerns. So my fellow Biafrans, let me make this clear. The first thing we have to collaborate on will be to eliminate the border control between Biafra and Ambazonia. If we take full control of the border, the Calabar border with Ambazonia, the Akwa Ibom border with Ambazonia, if we take full control of the border, we have taken full control of tariffs and trade. We've taken full control of the immigration and port authorities. We can collaborate on that to wipe out any Nigerian terrorist, any Nigerian so-called SARS or whatever immigration officer. If you have been planted by the Buhari regime, start living. Pack your things out. I said this 2 weeks ago. I will say it again. And the last time I will say it will be with actions. If you've been planted by the Buhari regime to stay on the borders of Biafra and Ambazonia, start packing out. Because we're coming for you. Number 2. If we erect our own Ambazonia Biafra border control, we will be able to engage in transnational trade. We will be able to fight terrorism effectively across our borders. We will be able to effectively protect our civilians. We will be able to effectively engage in economic trade for the benefits of our women and children who are currently languishing in poverty and abject poverty. There's no reason why you are called a Biafran, why I am called an Ambazonian, and yet we have a foreigner, a Cameroonian, a Nigerian on our borders controlling the relationship between Biafrans and Ambazonians. It doesn't work that way. Something must be done, and that something must be done now. The money they take from you transporting yourself from Biafra to Ambazonia, Ambazonia to Biafra, that money they take as immigration, custom, or whatever, it goes to Asurok. It goes for the benefit of Buhari in Nigeria, in neighboring Nigeria, who currently sleeps in his hospital bed in London, and ruling your country by Skype. If there is no Skype, there will be no governance in Nigeria because he controls the government by Skype. So meaning that if the West did not build internet, Muhammadu Buhari will not have any way to control this country. What kind of government is that? And you sit and you're smiling. You have to declare your independence and break up from neighboring Nigeria because they are evil. They will continue to wipe out your population. You are 70 million of you. Soon the population will come down to 60 million because they don't care the number they have slaughtered. From the days of the Biafra revolution in the 1960s, they don't care how many people they slaughtered. We have to shape this game in another form. If we, small population in Ambazonia, we are less than 2,000 active fighting force, but we have taken out 15,000 La République du Cameroon military terrorists. We have brought down their active fighting force down to about 10,000 in less than 3 years. Why? Because we took up guns. Are you afraid to have a gun to protect your mother? Are you afraid to have a gun to protect your civilians? No, you should go and look for Amadioha. Amadioha should come and protect you. Amadioha should protect you. There is no juju in this thing. This thing is not juju. This thing, juju does not work. Guns work. Explosives work. If someone tells you that juju would work for your favor, juju will liberate you, Biafrans, it doesn't work. Even Amadioha, 10 of the Amadiohas will never liberate you. Equensio romancia mami wata. Equensu romancia mami wata. Let me tell you this, Ambazonians and fellow Biafrans. The strategy is simple. You will see, and I'm telling you this from experience in the Ambazonian revolution, you will see Nigerian governments trying to bribe some of you die-hard Biafrans. Be very careful, because some of you Biafrans will be bought over by the regime in the course of this Biafra revolution. We've seen that happen in Ambazonia. Some of us have stayed in this Ambazonian revolution to talk guns and bullets, which you cannot even talk on the social media like me. Some of us have stayed to talk guns and bullets, and they have tried to bribe us to shut down our mouths, but we've not. I remember in the days of the consortium, my colleague Mark Barata in 2017 and myself were offered $500,000. $500,000. At that time, I was only 29 years old. $500,000, and we denied. My biggest regret is that I should have taken the money. I wish I could have taken this money to buy guns, because there is no way you can shut me down. But I need money to buy guns. If I had this money, 500,000, I should have wiped out the entire La République du Cameroon military terrorists. You will see them. They will come to bribe you. The first sign of you being part of Nigerian government is that they will try to bribe you. They will come after you. They will, trust me, the Buhari regime will come after you. Those vocal advocates, those vocal critics, they will come with you. They will come to you with money. They will promise you ministerial positions. They will promise you even government titles. They will promise you to be the head of local government areas. They will give you all kinds of lofty promises just because you should stay away from the Biafra revolution. Be very careful. Be extremely very careful. Your freedom is not for yourself. We are not fighting this thing for our own freedom. We are fighting for our children. That is why I don't care if I'm jailed today. I don't care if they slaughter me today or they assassinate me today. But I care if my unborn children see the fruits of my labor. And what is the fruit of my labor? A free Ambazonia. A free Biafra. Nnamdi Kanu is not fighting for himself. He is fighting for your unborn children. You are not fighting for yourself because Nnamdi Kanu will never ever go back to Biafra or go back to Nigeria. Not today, not in this world. That is why he is the sacrificial lamb. Jesus Christ himself gave up his own body for the forgiveness of our own sins. Not for himself, but for humanity. You need leaders who will be nailed on the cross so that you can be free. It needs a sacrificial lamb. When God told Abraham to sacrifice his only son, there was some sacrifice to be made, and God replaced his son with a lamb. Someone needs to be sacrificed for the freedom of the people. And I have given myself up as a sacrificial lamb. I want you, all your own role is to donate, buy guns and bullets. My own role is to give myself up. As simple as it is. A couple of leaders have given themselves up. Have you given yourself up? By the time everyone starts giving himself up, that is the political movement. Because we are giving ourselves up for the right and just cause. The irony today is that they will come to bribe you, and some of you will take the money and shut down your mouth. The first one is the end of slavery. Somewhere, somehow, we did not form government before we ended slavery. We had to break William Wilberforce, James Somerset. The first slave to be set free was James Somerset. William Wilberforce, James Somerset, and the rest, they had to end slavery first before rallying themselves to engage in nationalism movements or political movements and to erect a sovereign state, as in the case of 1957 with Ghana, or in the case of 1960 with Nigeria, as in the case of Ambazonia. Before you form states, you must break from that slavery shackle, from that thing that keeps you as a slave. You Biafrans have not broken up from that slavery shackle. We've not broken up. Ambazonians are still to break up because we still have tentacles of the slave master of neighboring La Republic du Cameroon in Ambazonia. And we have to cut those tentacles. What are the tentacles? Similar to Nigeria, the tentacles are the governments, the governors. We've been trying to take out, delete, kill those governors in Ambazonia. They are hiding from our soldiers like hell. You Biafrans have to take them out. Take out the governors. Take out the local government officials. Take them out. Wipe them. Wipe them from the planet. Because those guys are killing your women and children. They are coming to invoke a killing spree on our civilians. We must protect our civilians by deleting those enemies. And it's alright to defend yourself. We are defending ourselves. We are not fighting in northern Nigeria. How can a Fulani man come into Biafra and wipe out your people and you're not defending yourself? They will come to form governments. Trust me, they will come to form splinter groups among you, where you will not only have the IPOB, but you will have other splinter groups called, oh, this is the umbrella structure, and we should form the government under the umbrella structure. Don't fall for that trap. Don't fall for that scrap. There is no umbrella structure. There is none. If you are not a rebel in the revolution, you are a politician. We don't need opposition party members. We don't need party members in the Ambazonia revolution. We need rebels in the Ambazonia revolution. You need rebels in the Biafra revolution. And a rebel has no two languages. He is out and he wants out. He is not there to negotiate freedom. You don't negotiate your freedom. You don't. You don't negotiate your freedom. Then with that position, you'll be poisoned and you'll be killed. You have to wise up. You have to reason out. Nnamdi Kanu is the most feared and the most outspoken leader in the Biafra revolution. He's one of, if not the only, who's been jailed by the Buhari regime for his activism in Biafra. If you cannot give him your unflinching support, it means you're a La République du Cameroon agent. We call them, those internal enablers, we call them La République agents. You are a Nigerian agent. If you cannot support Nnamdi Kanu, you're a Nigerian agent. I don't care who you are, you are a Nigerian agent. And I hear some of you Biafrans, you're calling Nnamdi Kanu a Nigerian agent. You must be stupid in your head. If it's a Nigerian agent, why is he not in Aso Rock? Dull fools. Dull, empty head, coconut water head. You must stand up. What are you afraid of? Afraid of what? Of Buhari? That Ngainako? You're afraid of what? Of Fulanis? What are you afraid of? Ban anything called governments. Anything called government is an extension of Buhari. If you hear any group calling itself, oh no, we are the government of the people of Biafra or whatever, ban it. This is not time for you to form governments. You have not liberated yourself first. You must liberate yourself. Then you will rally yourself and elect who will be the president. If you call yourself a government, then hold an election in Nigeria or in Biafra. Hold an election openly and call the people to rally and vote to be the president of Biafra. Then we will accept that, yes, you have gained control. But if you cannot do it, you're only playing politics. Because some of you are so excited only about government. That is the same thing that has killed the Ambazonia revolution. Or that has almost killed the Ambazonia revolution. Where idiots sit out of the country, are afraid to even go as close to Ambazonia as Nigeria. But they call themselves presidents. They give themselves ministerial positions and titles. And they are sitting from someone's country. If you're a president, or you call yourself a president of Biafra, or the president of Ambazonia, and you're sitting from someone's country, and that someone's country does not even know you, as a president of a new country. In fact, the president of that someone's country does not even know you. Then you must be a mad fool on international jamborees. Okay. They always say Buhari is dead in the UK. Of course, we have heard about the death of Buhari 4 times, 7 times, 8 times. He is clinically dead. He's not a president. He's not. That's a fool. And when one fool dies, they will replace him with another fool. If you're waiting for Buhari's death, for the liberation of Ambazonia or the liberation of Biafra, you're wasting your time. We are not waiting for Paul Biya's death before we declare our independence. We declared our independence when Paul Biya was alive and active in 2017. You shouldn't be, because if Buhari dies, he doesn't change the game. He has already planted his network. The next fool comes to replace him, and he is good. You, the Biafrans will be suffering. Because some of you think it is because someone is in power that he will die before you're free. No. They have a consistent cycle. They have a recycling government. Where they put this one in the garbage, they come and recycle the next day. They put this one after 3 years, they recycle. It's a recycling regime. Nothing changes. The system in place is completely corrupt. So don't think that Buhari dying today will free the people of Biafra. Or don't think that Paul Biya dying today will free Ambazonians. No. It may even make the situation worse. It will not make the situation better, it will make it worse. The only way for us to liberate ourselves is to start now. You see those prisons in Anambra, in Lagos, Enugu, all of those prisons, you have to break those prisons. There should be a massive prison break in Nigeria. Or those Nigerian prisons must be broken into in Biafra. Break the prisons, because we broke prisons in Ambazonia. We broke prisons to liberate our people who are now fighting, who are now joining us to fight the enemy. You cannot be having war and people are trapped in prisons. It doesn't make any sense. There is a war going on in Ambazonia, and why will someone be in prisons? There is a war going on in Biafra. Why will someone be in prison? We have to break the prisons and liberate our people. If you cannot break the prisons to liberate your people, you are not doing any favor to the prisoners, because they want to enjoy that freedom. They want to be part of the revolutionary train. When I heard prisons were broken into in Biafra, and I did not hear any group claiming credits, it's sad. Groups should have claimed credit. Is it a bad thing to break into a prison? Was the prison built by the American government? No, let's be honest, because it looks like people are just so afraid. That I break into a prison in Ambazonia, then I'm afraid to announce that I've broken into a prison. What is bad in it? What have you done bad that you break into a prison to release people? What have you done bad? You should be awarded even from the heavenly grace for your good sacrifice for humanity. Where people are dying in overcrowded prison, Human Rights Watch have always condemned the prison conditions in Africa, particularly in Nigeria and Cameroon. Our people are suffering, languishing in poverty in prisons, no medical support, no place to sleep, no water to drink, no good food. You should be praised and as a hero for breaking into prisons. Around all prisons broken into in Biafra, break into the prisons and claim credits that we did it. You have able soldiers, real-time good fighters who could join the ESN network, who could join ESN, real muscled civilians in prisons, and you're leaving them. You're afraid to go and release them. If you cannot release people from prison, then you will release by the ones that are free. Now let me ask you a question. If you cannot release your own civilians in prison who have been wrongly jailed without any due process, then you will release by the ones who are free and Biafrans. The first step towards a revolution is to start by breaking into that prison. Break into the prison and claim credit. Now the Kanu should be able to claim credit that yes, our soldiers, our ESN did it. Claim credit for it. What are you afraid of? You have a huge fighting force. I've seen the ESN forces. They are hundreds of them, well armed, well structured. They should be able to launch attacks. Look for one prison and break in. Release all of them. The next one, bam! Anyone who is standing on the way to releasing an innocent civilian trapped now, shoot the fool down. I want to make this particularly clear. When we talk live, you'll see some of these fake ghost profiles from Biafra coming to insult because they are afraid that what you're doing, having a new country, will spell doom for their parents who are in active positions in the government. Don't be afraid. Those idiots would end on the comment section. They'll keep insulting you. Oh no, you're not supposed to break up Nigeria. No, Nigeria was supposed to conquer the entire world, idiot. Oh no, you're not supposed to break up our country. You're not supposed to break. Shut up! Do you know the country? Were you not born into some place? Do you know that you'll be born in Nigeria? Idiot. It's a country. What country? The largest country in Africa, but no prosperity, no light, no light. There's a president in power, but there's no power for the people. How can you be a president in power, but you don't have power for your own people? And you call it a country. And I hear some idiots are defending that nonsense. Break up and form your own state. Break up and form your own country. Idiot. Say Nigeria. You should be ashamed to even call that one Nigeria. You should be ashamed. Other smaller countries are there that are well prosperous and the rest, nice countries, New Zealand. You have a large population with the top medical doctors, top engineers across the world. But the country is a riffraff. It's a makeshift. Bring the country and let the real people focus on building a new one. Break the nonsense. What is Nigeria like? You're not even ashamed to even walk around and say you're from Nigeria. You should be proud to say you're from Biafra. I am a Biafran. I am proud to be a Biafra. That is how we told these idiots who call themselves Cameroonians. I don't want to even call that word Cameroon. I mean like Cameroon or Cameroon. Very fake. You just listen to the name of the country. Cameroon, came. That means they're always coming after. Cameroon. They always come after came. They came after. Always after, selling after the market. The only country in the world with its name having a past tense. Cameroon. Came. They came. Not even Cameroon like I'm coming. That one is came. Cameroon. Came. Always late in everything they do. Foolish country. Ambazonians, I want to make this particularly clear. We've not only discussed a lot, but we will talk a lot as I will show you more photos on the side of my screen as we are talking on this particular. I want to, by the way, thank the Biafran TV for showing me live right now. The Biafran TV, thank you very much. The Biafran TV, thank you very much. Let me give some praises to our ESN brothers in neighboring Biafra. As you see, these are our ESN brothers. ESN is the Eastern Security in the ESN category for the wonderful support they have done for the people of Biafra. Thank you very much. I want to show this particular photo. As you see, when we say we are fighting for our independence, it's not as if we are fighting to cause terror. We are fighting because we know that what we are fighting for is just, is right in the eyes of God and man. You see, this is the Southern Cameroons, also known as Ambazonia. This is our parliament in the 1950s, and you compare it today with Cameroon's president Aijo visiting Cameroon's Southern Cameroon's parliament. So we are not fighting out of the blues. We already had a country, and we are fighting to regain our country. The Biafrans, whether they had a country or not, you have the right to what we call self-determination. Whether it's an internal self-determination or an external self-determination, self-determination is the self-determination in international law. So our fellow Biafrans, as you can see, you guys are doing a fantastic job. I want to hereby announce that within the last 1 hour, we've been holding security briefings. And those security briefings have fully acknowledged that we are now taking this war into La République du Cameroon. Proof of it, as of yesterday night, we raided the western part of La République du Cameroon, killing 2 gendarmes. And our soldiers did a fantastic job to kill those 2 gendarmes in neighboring La République du Cameroon. Let me share with you evidence that we did the good job. And I want to thank our forces for the great job they have been doing in killing the gendarmes in neighboring La République du Cameroon. Let me share with you on the side of my screen here. I hope I can get that photo. I don't know why I cannot see the photos coming in, but it's certainly going to come in. I'm looking for the photos, but I would like to announce that we did a fantastic job. But by the way, as this one comes into my screen, let me share with you. These 2 idiots, these useless idiots, one calls himself the president of Ambazonia, the other one calls himself an activist. These 2 idiots have been claiming credits for the guns that I just showed a few minutes ago. I will play a sound so that you listen to it, and that sound details exactly the state of mind. A disclaimer, I repeat, a disclaimer, a complete disclaimer from our forces in Bambalang, who says Sako and his gangster, the gay, this idiot is a gay, the one below is a gay. Something. I don't support gays, by the way, just to let you know. I'm a strong activist against lesbianism, homosexuality, and the rest. I have Christian values. I don't accept gayism. I don't. You can do it in your privacy, but my personal opinion is that gayism is bad. Lesbianism and the rest are all bad. I don't support that. This one below is a gay. He's been writing, tweeting everywhere, saying that his forces, or whatever he calls his forces, are responsible for the guns that I just showed you a few minutes ago. Let me play this particular sound so that you listen to it. A disclaimer from the general. The general is disclaiming that he doesn't know these two people.
Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. Good morning, the population of Southern Cameroon. Yes, it is the spokesman of the Marine Force of Bambalang under the command of Major General Nopiti speaking. I'm here to inform my fellow Ambazonians that whatsoever I am seeing on social media, on Facebook, all are lies. There is never a day the World Draft have ever support us with even a needle or money, not talking less of money to buy an AK bullet. All these things we are seeing that the World Draft have contributed money and given us to buy weapons. All those things are lie. Any weapon you see us using, it is either we have taken it from the military or we buy it, or we have bought it with our own money. So all those things I'm saying on social media, it is a lie. And I don't want to hear anybody saying that the person has given us money or supported us with anything, because since we started this struggle in our own side, nobody has ever supported us with a 25 francs. So all these things I'm seeing on social media is a lie. So I'm here to tell my fellow Ambazonians, the people of Southern Cameroon, that the World Draft has never given us anything, not talking more of buying us one AK, nor money to buy all these machines we are having. Everything we are having here, it is our own sweat we have used, and not that anybody has given us anything. So I'm here to tell my fellow Ambazonians that anything they see on social media, they should not believe, because there was never a day they have given us anything. Any weapon we are having, any machine we are having here, it is our own sweat. They have never bought us even one AK, not talking self of pump action, even 9 grain. Even when we were still using the 9 grain, they have never given us any kobo. So it is not today they will start buying us weapon, or they will start posting on social media that they have contributed money and given us to buy any weapon. And so I want my fellow Amazonians to know that anything we are having, anything we are using here, it is our own sweat. So all those nonsense we are seeing on social media, all those things are lies. So let nobody say that a person has ever given us anything. Thank you very much.
Those nonsense we are seeing. Ambazonians, you're listening to this particular broadcast live from the Rebel TV studio. Therefore, if you're watching, you're a rebel, and we support rebels, and we love rebels, and we are rebels, and we shall die as rebels. A rebel means someone who is protecting civilian lives, someone who is protecting women and children, someone who has decided that he will focus on the revolution by building his own country that will be democratic. So I want to make this particularly clear as you listen to that particular disclaimer. That disclaimer came all the way from Mr. Nanchop, as you see him on the side of your screen here. This, the one below, that one is a gay. Whatever he calls himself, gays. I don't support that nonsense. That gay published on Facebook that soldiers, our Ambazonia soldiers, raided whatever military stations and collected weapons. So there has been a disclaimer, and that particular disclaimer is what I just aired a few minutes ago. We have a lot to show on today's edition of the program, but due to time constraints, we will not be going into those details. But let me inform all Ambazonians that at this particular moment, we've taken the war into La République du Cameroon. Many of you have been craving for this. Many of you have been asking us to take this war into neighboring La République du Cameroon, which we are happily doing at this particular moment. The war is right now fully into La République du Cameroon. La République du Cameroon has been gnashing its teeth. As of yesterday, we raided a military station and we killed about 3 gendarmes. Some of them fled into the bushes. But I want to let you know that there shall be surprise attacks in the days ahead. Why do we take the war into La République du Cameroon? Is because we've been fighting a defensive war for the last 4 years in particular, and they have been building terrorist hubs in neighboring La République du Cameroon and surgically targeting our people and slaughtering our women and children. For that reason, we've had informants within the Cameroon military, and those informants have relayed to us, have given us accurate information as to the locations of these terrorist hubs in neighboring La République du Cameroon. That is why we are attacking those particular terrorist hubs, because our goal is to contribute to George Bush's 2001 global war on terror strategy. Terrorism cannot be fought and cannot be defeated by one country, by one man. It takes a global effort to defeat this global pandemic. And that is why we are extending our tentacles to fighting terrorism in neighboring La République du Cameroon, wherever and whenever there is need for that. We've identified a couple of military terrorist stations in neighboring La République du Cameroon, and we've invested huge amounts of efforts, forces, weapons, resources to delete all of those terrorist locations. So expect more battles in the days ahead. Expect more battles against the terrorist forces in the days ahead. And one more thing, Biafrans, what we are doing is not a recruitment into the military. It is a patriotic volunteer situation. We are calling on them to volunteer patriotically in fighting terrorism. We are calling them on them to volunteer their will, their might, their resources, their energy, their strength to fighting terrorism. We are not recruiting, because in the revolution, we don't have any structure. We don't have a consistent structure to put people on payrolls. Remember, we don't have a government. And you cannot put people on payrolls in the revolution. It doesn't work. What we are doing is that we are calling for volunteers to patriotically defend homeland. And that is what Biafrans should be doing. Biafrans, if you are fighting for the ESN, you have not been recruited by Biafra or a so-called government that does not exist in the revolution to fight for the ESN. You are only a patriotic volunteer. No one puts you on a salary, and we cannot pay you because we are in slavery. We can only pay you when we liberate our country and we integrate all those pockets of defense groups into a national army. That is when we shall be able to put you on payrolls to compensate you for the time spent in the bushes fighting off the Nigerian military, for the time spent in the bushes fighting and staving off the Cameroon military terrorists. So the sooner we get there, the better for us. But for now, you are not recruited by the Biafra or the Ambazonia government or Ambazonia regime or whatever you want to describe it. You're only a patriotic volunteer. Let me make that particularly very clear. Volunteerism is very important. The Dublin Declaration, one of the things that we will be expecting to see in the Biafra revolution is that we are expecting to have Nnamdi Kanu declare all Biafrans as endangered species. Once you declare your citizens as endangered species, you have the right to go on, to march on, to fighting those terrorists, because you're fighting on a just cause. You have to lay down the foundation on which you have to fight the Nigerian military. You have to lay down the foundation on which you have to fight those uneducated Fulanese illiterates. You have to lay down the foundation on which you could build Biafra without being tagged negative names by the international community. You have a history of slavery. You have a history of suffering. The international community has that in its records, in its history books. They cannot delete that. So for that reason, you have a just cause to once more redefine, reinstate your claims as to why you want a Biafra. And you could pass it out through any declaration, maybe from any Western country, which will make more sense. And that will be a good strategy, a good approach to building your own nation. So, my fellow Biafrans, we are working together. We are expecting that in the coming days, your prisons, the prisons in Nigeria have to be broken into. You have to open those prisons, liberate your people, free your people, and let your people be free citizens. Liberate, break up those prisons. Very important. The second thing, claim credits for breaking up the prisons. Always claim credits for breaking up the prisons. It is particularly very, very important. You cannot be living in Biafra and Nigerians from a neighboring country called Nigeria steps in, builds a prison to put their own people in their prison, in Biafra. It doesn't work that way. How can America come and build its prison in Ambazonia? How can Chad or any other country, Egypt, come and build its prison in Ambazonia and put our own people in their prison? It doesn't make any sense. Let us be the judge of our citizens. Whether they've committed a crime or not, we will judge them and we'll free them, or we will shall jail them in our own prisons. Let us be the judge. If truly you're fighting for independence in Biafra, you want to break up from Biafra, be the judge of your own people. It should not be Nigeria judging your own people, saying that, oh no, they've committed a crime, 30 years in prison. And which prison? In their own prisons that they've built in Biafra. Wrong. Start by attacking those prisons, delete those prisons, burn down those prisons, take any obstruction out, and free all prisoners, regardless of race, culture, religion. Protect and free all of them. If there is a strategy you have to protect civilians while freeing them from those prisons, you have to engage in them. Don't use violence until there is a call for violence. And we don't even encourage violence. We disclaim violence. But we are saying freedom of our civilians is of prior importance. We are defending our civilians. We are invoking the responsibility to defend our civilians in the face of injustice. We will not only protest with mouths. We will use... You don't need a crowd. You need only 12 people who know what they are doing. Only 12, not more than that. Let's say 11, because there's going to be a Judah from the Buhari regime among the 12. You need only less than 12 to liberate your people. You don't need the entire crowd. Have dedicated people glued to you and you shall liberate Biafra. The same thing Dr. Ayabacho Lucas has done. He has dedicated people glued to him, and we are doing it. We are fantastically doing it. We are winning fatly. Don't be afraid. So I want to thank you, fellow Biafrans. I want to thank you, all fellow Ambazonians. I want to thank you for your wonderful sacrifices, for your great services. I would like to also let you know that this particular walk to freedom is very, very painful. It's going to come at all cost. It may cost some of you your lives. It may cost some of you your fortune. It may cost some of you your precious belongings, but that is fine. It's part of freedom. It's part of freedom. Stay glued. Nothing should wave you from focusing on revolution, from focusing on the political movement. Nothing should wave you aside. Nothing should veer you off the revolutionary path. Stay glued and you shall achieve. Don't fall into the trap nets of government, into the drag net of government. Don't fall into that. Those things that they call government will only ruin your revolution, will only ruin your own sacrifices. Focus on the rebels. Focus on the people who are calling guns. Focus on those who call bullets. We should buy the bullets. We should buy the explosives. Those should be your leaders. Not people who come and tell you that, oh no, diplomacy worked in the days of this. No, diplomacy and diplomacy. Diplomacy does not work with those Fulanis. Fulanis are uneducated. They did not go to school. All they know is cattle rearing. They don't engage in diplomacy. Or they cannot speak English. All they know is, I do this, you do that. I know, you come here, I do that. You try, I do, you, me. That's how they speak. They don't know English. Don't waste your time with them that you're engaging in some diplomacy in Abuja or diplomacy in this. It wouldn't work. And the moment you're engaging in diplomacy, they are sending their kids to come and kill more in Biafra. You have to be aware of them. So thank you very much, my fellow Biafrans. Thank you very much, my fellow Ambazonians. I wish you all a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
There is nothing more precious in life than freedom.
Your freedom is in your hands.
There is nothing more precious in life than freedom.
Your freedom is in your hands. I have come here as the commander of